Hello, hello. Hey, I know that some of you will tune in to watch me for no other reason than to see if the eyes are bloodshot because last night I guest hosted for Chris Cuomo. So I left this very studio at 10:05 p.m. Show went well, at least from my perspective, and then got home. But it's not like I could immediately go to sleep, all fired up and having just been on television through the 10 o'clock hour, notwithstanding the fact that I got up at 4:30 in the morning. So by the time that I got to bed last night, it was probably just past midnight, and then got up at 4:30 to come in back to the studio and get ready to go for my own program. It is now Saturday morning at approximately 7:30. Sorry for any technical issues that some of you may have had in finding me. I'm still trying to learn my way and find my way with regard to YouTube. We are struggling to reach herd immunity in this country. We are struggling to reach herd immunity in this country. 55% of Americans have had at least one shot. 55%, according to the Centers for Disease Control. There's a front page story. This is purely coincidentally because this is already to be my focus on CNN today and something that has me preoccupied. The headline says this. I don't know if you can see it. In rural America, the shot divides communities. And the dateline for the story is Greenville, Tennessee, and Greene County, where, in contrast to the 55%, 31% of vaccine eligible have had at least one shot. But there's a hell of a lot of hesitancy going on in that community. And the Times, Jan Hoffman, and maybe I'll get Jan Hoffman on radio this week, said the following: but a week here in Greene County reveals a more nuanced, layered hesitancy than surveys suggest, meaning it's not just politics. People say that politics isn't the leading driver of their vaccine attitudes. The most common reason for their apprehension is fear that the vaccine was developed in haste, that long-term side effects are unknown. Their decisions are also entangled in a web of views about bodily autonomy, science, and authority, plus a powerful regional, somewhat romanticized self-image. We don't like outsiders messing in our business. And then if I go to the jump page, it tells me something more. It says, conversations here show that for many people, resistance is not firm. Roiled by internet fallacies, many hunger for straightforward information from people they trust. Others have practical needs, like paid time off to recover from side effects, which the Biden administration has urged employers to offer, or the opportunity to get the shot from their own doctor. What's also lacking is a groundswell that might encourage the hesitant to make the leap. Many people who have gotten vaccinated are remaining tight-lipped. So the question is, because this now impacts all of us, in order for us to get to herd immunity, we need a lot more people to start getting vaccinated. But as you just heard from that description and from other data, a lot of folks just aren't going to do it. Here's an option. There was a USA Today essay that was published by a former prosecutor named Michael Stern. And I discussed this briefly on radio yesterday. He says, we've got to shun folks. We've got to shun people into getting vaccinated. He writes the following: Biden's wildly successful vaccine rollout means that soon everyone who wants a vaccine will have one. When that happens, restaurants, movie theaters, gyms, barbers, airlines, and Ubers should require proof of vaccination before providing their services. We've already reached that tipping point where now supply is greater than demand. In Philadelphia, it was reported just blocks from where I'm broadcasting today at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, which is a mass vaccination site, that they had 4,000 extra doses on Thursday. This morning's LA Times has a big story, and I'm sure we've all seen the film footage from the last several weeks and months of Dodger Stadium and the long lines and the mass vaccination. No more. Their supply also has outstripped demand. I mean, sooner or later, supply was going to outstrip demand, but we hoped that would happen when everybody was getting vaccinated. But we've kind of reached a point now, we're up against a wall, and some among us, like the good folks in Greene County, Tennessee, just aren't going to do it. So Michael Stern's suggestion, the shunning suggestion, is this. Businesses should make vaccination a requirement for employment. A COVID outbreak can shut down a business and be financially devastating, and failure to enforce basic health and safety measures is not fair to employees who have to work in offices, factories, and stores where close contact is required. Things should get personal too. People should require friends to be vaccinated to attend the barbecues and birthday parties they host. Friends don't let friends spread COVID. Friends don't let friends spread COVID. Yesterday's survey question at smerconish.com asked whether it's time to shun. 7,241 people responded. What do you think the percentage was who said yes? How about 73%? 73% and change said that's the way to go. Dr. Lena Wen, who is a CNN medical analyst, has additional thoughts. She believes that the CDC's guidance is not as clear as it should be, and that the Biden administration, I don't know if overly cautious is the way her word choice, but that was what I took away from the essay that she published in the Washington Post. And she said the following with regard to last Wednesday's speech by the president to a joint session of Congress. Imagine if Wednesday's joint session had required that all attendees be fully vaccinated. Those who were not vaccinated were not welcome, but those permitted in could walk into the room, take off their masks, sit next to one another, and listen to a presidential address just as they did in 2019. I said on CNN last night when I was in for Chris, imagine if President Biden had walked in wearing a mask and then with some flourish looked at Vice President Kamala Harris and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and all three in unison took off their mask to make the point that, hey, we're vaccinated. We are among the vaccinated. And when everybody's vaccinated and living with one another, we take off these masks and go back to the way that we were. We're going to get there. Sooner or later, we're going to get there. But the mode on which we're now traveling, if that's the right way to say it, that sounded odd, is that we're going to eventually get to herd immunity because there'll be a combination of people who've had vaccination and people who've caught COVID. That's always the way it was going to end up. But it's the percentage, it's the balance. Instead of getting there the easy way, which is people get vaccinated, now we're going to get there the harder way, where we'll get to herd immunity eventually, not as fast as we could, and only after more people get sick and some die. That's the point. The point is that more will die than need to because of the resistance in an area like this. So how do we reach these folks? I like the ideas of enable their own physician who they trust to give them the vaccine, right? Get it out of the mass vaccination center. You have 4,000 extra doses at a mass vaccination center. Give it to local physicians who are trusted by their patients. And yes, I mean, mine was Moderna. And so after that second day, I wasn't knocked flat the way that some are. I didn't miss any work, didn't miss any radio shows. But did I feel sluggish? In my case, yeah, I felt sluggish, frankly, for 2 days, not one day. I have family members who were absolutely down for the count. So the idea that everybody is afforded a day or two by their employer for side effects, I think is perfectly reasonable. And we can't, look at it in strict terms of, well, they're a Republican or they're a Democrat. I don't think it's party affiliation. Like, hey, I'm not getting a shot because, I'm a MAGA person. I think it's like the Times described. It's more nuanced. It's about individual liberties and this idea of how they perceive themselves vis-a-vis outsiders wanting to tell them how to lead their lives. So vaccine hesitancy is a real issue. We've kind of come now to a crossroads, and there's a question as to whether we're going to get where we need to go the easy way or the hard way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I apologize for any technical issues in getting started here today. Hope you'll watch me on CNN. And while you're here, check out the other videos on the YouTube page because I think they really look cool and we're building something really unique. Okay? See how I hold up at 9 a.m. if you'll have the opportunity to go give a watch to that. I'm feeling pretty good. I'll see you again soon.